morning, everyone. Paperboy trucker back on the road, headed to Tulsa with this load I picked up in Kansas City yesterday. I didn't get to show you much of the load. I think I remember, getting a shot or two of when they first started loading me, but once I got loaded, I ended up, they told me to pull around, and anyway, I ended up on this little, just parked on the street there beside the plant. I don't know exactly where they were trying to tell me to go, but the directions I got, I didn't work. I don't think I got to where I was supposed to be. They told me there was a gravel lot that I could go secure in, but the only gravel lot I saw, the entrance was blocked by a couple of cars, like maybe employee cars or something. Anyway, I ended up strapping, and I had to put this steel tubing is very sharp on the edges and the corners, so I used my skid mats. I used all three of my canvas tarps, and then you have to cover the load with a sheet of plastic. Quite a bit of work there, and then use my two smaller steel tarps to cover the load. But I didn't get to get any footage of that because I was out there on a road, and I was trying to get out of there and get done as soon as possible. So I'll try to get some footage of it when I get it untarped at the customer. But I'm just doing a little filming here today because I had a request from someone yesterday that asked if I could do more filming while I was driving. So here you go. I'm about 10 miles into Oklahoma from the Joplin, Missouri area on 44 West, headed to Tulsa. And let's see, what else came up? I had a message just this morning from someone, I forget his name, but he said that he had already gotten set up to start at Maverick and then had some sort of personal issue come up and had to postpone. But he's asking me, he must be having second thoughts, I guess, or not quite sure of his decision, because he asked me, what are the benefits, what's the good and the bad of Maverick, working for Maverick. And I've addressed that before in previous videos, but I'll go ahead and throw a quick pitch out here. The good and the bad of working for Maverick is, the pay, especially for a starting CDL holder, is very good. I'm happy with my income. The freight is good. They have good freight commitments, good accounts. We've never had a lull with our freight. Even back last year, like in March, April of 2020, when COVID was in high alert, and a lot of truckers, I think, had a dip in freight there for a while. Maverick, their people, worked hard and kept us busy. Never really felt any kind of slowdown. I've never experienced a slowdown in freight the whole time I've been at Maverick. It's always good, steady. And the equipment, we have good trucks. I've talked about this many times before. They're equipped with automatic transmission. We have EPUs with electrical outlets. They can run put a microwave, TV. You can run your bunk AC and heat, you know, without having to have a generator running or the truck running. So yeah, that's pretty much the good of it. You know, good freight, good pay, good equipment, and they do a good job of getting me home on the weekends. You know, I've been doing this for 2 1/3 year now, and I've really only been hung out and didn't get home when I was supposed to get home, I think 3 times. That's pretty good. So that's the good. The bad, you know, the bad, I guess, you know, sometimes, and that depends on how you look at it. For some people, doing flatbedding is bad because you actually have to do some physical work. You know, you're out in the heat, the cold, the rain sometimes, doing some work. I don't really mind that. I look at that as a positive, actually, because it helps me get a little exercise. Otherwise, you know, we'd just be sitting out here, sitting literally all the time, doing nothing but sitting. So I look at that as a positive, really. And some people would say a negative is the you know, the driver-facing camera that most of our trucks are equipped with now. Maybe not all of them, but most of them. That's kind of where the industry is going. And I've had a driver-facing camera on this truck now for a few months, and honestly, I don't even know it's there. You know, I don't even really think about it anymore. I've never had anybody contact me and say, hey, you know, you're doing something wrong, or hey, we saw you doing this or that. You know, it's really there for safety purposes, so if something were to happen, they've got a record of what you were doing, you know. I don't really think they use it as a spy device, you know, to watch you all the time. I don't think there's somebody sitting at Maverick with a camera watching it all the time to see what I'm doing. So don't really worry about that. So yeah, without dragging this out too long, you know, that's the good and the bad of Maverick. Mostly good, you know. I had somebody email me the other day, you know, do you like working at Maverick? Are you happy? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I think you can see that from my videos, but yeah, I mean, if I wasn't, I would go somewhere else. But yeah, I've been happy with how this has worked out. You know, I made a complete career change, got straight into trucking from doing another career, you know, in the newspaper business. And I was also working part-time as a dock worker at ABF, but I just, you know, just got my CDL, had no experience, signed on with Maverick, went through their little 2-week securement training course, new hire, safety, whatever you call it. You know, it takes 2 weeks or less. Got assigned a trainer, went out with him for 3 weeks. Boom, got my truck. Been driving for Maverick ever since, you know. Over 2 years, and the pay has been good. You know, the starting pay, you know, if you go on the Maverick website, the starting pay, you know, if you haven't gone to the Maverick website yet, you ought to do that. They have a hiring map where you can click where you live, and they'll show you the divisions that are options for you based on where you live. And it's got the pay rates, starting pay rates, and a lot of information there, you know, about the training schools and all kinds of information, you know. So if you haven't looked at that, you should do that. A lot of information there. But the pay numbers they put out there are not just bloated numbers they're trying to attract you with, you know. They're real achievable numbers, you know. So yeah, I'm happy with how that's worked out, you know. We've had 2 pay increases, one at the very beginning of the year, and then another one just I don't know, a couple months back. So anyway, and then I've gotten several comments or emails the past week or two from older people, you know, that they would like to do this. They seem to be leaning towards doing this. They, you know, they're thinking about it at least, but they're a little worried. You know, maybe they're 55 or 60 years old, and maybe they're too old. And I just addressed this last week in one of my videos, but you know, you're not too old. If you have a mindset, you know, that you don't mind doing a little work from time to time, and you know, you're in decent physical shape, you can do this. You know, don't be afraid to do it. But if you are afraid, you know, I'm not trying to talk you into doing something you won't be comfortable with. You know, there's lots of other options out there for you. Other kinds of trucking. You know, if you just want to be into trucking, there's lots of, you can do refrigerated freight, dry van, you know, there's all kinds of stuff out there. Maverick's still a good place to come and get started, get your experience, even if you only do it for a year or two, you know, then go do something else. But yeah, you're not too old if you're in decent physical condition. All right, that's enough talking for now. I'll get back to you later.